Hello. I hope if you can hear me okay, could you please put that in the comments? Let me know where you are in the world. Tell me your name. I'll be really, really grateful for that. So just let me know if my volume's okay and that you can see me. Just put a yes in the comments. I will be really grateful if you could do that for me, please. Thank you. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Oh, Cornelia, thank you. Oh, that's great. So I'm assuming that you can hear me well and that you can see me as well. Yes, you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you very much. I'll just give it a couple more minutes, just 2 minutes to see if anybody else comes in. And then thank you. And then I'll continue with what I've got to say. So just give it a couple of minutes. Thank you very much for being on time as well. Oh gosh, if only I could sing, but I can't, so I won't even go there. So just give it one more minute and then I will continue with what I've got to say. And it's nice to see you too, thank you. So if you have any comments or questions you want to ask, please do that in the comments. And what I'll do is once I've said what I needed to say, then I'll go ahead and answer any of your questions, because it is about answering any Fashion Zone questions that you may have, whether it's around fashion design or whether it's around sewing, and then any other questions that are kind of general that you want to ask me, then I'm more than happy to answer them. Oh. I was a bit nervous, but now my nerves have calmed down. So I'm a bit more relaxed now. But just give it, I've got a clock here that I'm watching at the moment, so just give it another couple of more seconds and then I'll go into it. Because you don't really want to, you know, kind of blab on and go on and on. So yeah. So I'm celebrating right now. Okay. Okay then, I have reached 100K on my channel, my YouTube channel, which is so amazing. I reached it about a week ago, and the reason why I didn't do it straight away was because I wanted to give away a t-shirt and it didn't arrive on time. So it literally only came about 5 days ago, maybe a week ago. And so that's the reason why I didn't do it on the time that I was supposed to do it. But that's fine. I've reached 100K and I've got to thank you all so much for supporting me and subscribing. And now that I've got 100K plus on my channel, it really feels amazing. And what I wanted to do with that is to celebrate that with you and tell you about 1 or 2 more things that's happening with my business and what direction I wanted to go into, and also your input as well, because I'm here to share that information with you. So it would be really grateful if you have any questions that you put it in the comment box, and I'll get to those questions more or less later on once I've said what I needed to say. So let me just get it over and done with, just tell you about my t-shirt. So it's my t-shirt, Sew Up and Glow. So it's a t-shirt I've designed, and this is what I wanted to give away. So I've got a spare one here. This is what I'm going to be giving away. My Sew Up and Glow t-shirt. So this is my new merch. And in order for you to do this, to win this t-shirt, what I have done is I have put a post on my website, my blog post. So you need to go over to my blog post, and I'll put a link to that in the description below this video. And if I can do, I'll also put it in the comments as well. And all you need to do is read through that post and then leave a comment at the end of that post in order to win this t-shirt. And then obviously I'll make sure that I make the announcement. More than likely, if I can, do it within YouTube stories, but I'll definitely put it on my social media and let everyone know who the lucky winner is, who's going to have a t-shirt just like mine. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to announce. Thank you very much for the 100K, you helped me get there, and I'm giving away my t-shirt in order to celebrate that fact. I'm also going to be receiving a silver button from YouTube. It hasn't arrived just yet, and I'm presuming because it's coming from so far and because of what's happening in the world right now with COVID, that will probably be some time before it gets here. But once it gets here, I promise I will share it with you all, because it's yours as much as it is mine. So I want to make sure I share that with you once it gets here. So that's what I'm also waiting for, is my silver button. I've got a little checklist here to make sure I don't miss anything. So yeah, so I've reached 100K, and I'm going to celebrate that with a t-shirt giveaway. And remember, you've got to go to my website, which is colleenlee.com, in order to enter the competition and to win the t-shirt. And if you are not a t-shirt wearer, I do have a merch store as well, in which you can go along and have a look and perhaps purchase something from there. So what's happening with me right now is that, as with all small businesses around the world, we're all trying to grow in this difficult times. So I now have a new website, and on that website it's going to be very helpful blog news and other information, and it's really what I'm doing. I'm going to put that information out there about how I cope as a small business and how I will continue helping you to engage with fashion industry and also the sewing industry. And obviously I'll keep up with my YouTube channel and making sure I put video tutorials out there. So do remember that you can request a video from me, and I'll do my best to make sure that I can fulfill that request, and then obviously film it and put it on my channel. So my website covers that sort of thing. I also am in the process of doing courses, and these courses are around the topic of fashion design, because that's the area I've come from. I worked in the fashion industry and the education industry as a fashion design lecturer, and I love teaching. That's my passion, but my knowledge is obviously to do with designing, pattern drafting and garment construction. So hello everyone, hello. I can see people coming in, just want to say hello. And yeah, so that's what my courses are geared towards, and you get lots of information along that in my website as well. So it is a case of that, with those educational formats that are out there, what I'm teaching is my own personal experience in order to enable you to be a fashion designer within the industry, so you can get hired, or if you prefer to set up your own fashion design company, then I can also share that experiences with you with the courses that I'm in the process of designing. And also there's a couple of courses that I've already completed as well. I've talked to you a little bit about my merch that I just have released. And yeah, that's it really. Let me see, I don't think there's anything else. I think I may be speaking a little bit too fast. I'm going to slow down a little bit more. There is the thing that I really wanted to mention more than anything, as well as obviously, you know, my merch and stuff like that, is that what is happening in the world right now, and what I'm reading on the internet and what's being fed back to me, is that a lot of small businesses like myself are feeling the impact of what's happening in the world. And I just want to say that if you can at all manage to support small businesses, please do so, because I'm a great believer that small businesses are the backbone to any country, in order to help the economy, you know, get back on its feet wherever you are in the world. And it really does start with small businesses. So, you know, if you can continue to support small businesses, please do so. And if you haven't, you know, maybe just give it a little thought that you want to help in some way or some form. That would really be appreciated. And I think that's it right now at the moment. So like I said, if you've got any questions you want to ask me, then please do put those in the comment box right now, and I will be answering those. I also want to mention one more thing, because it's been a while since I've done YouTube Live, and as with lots of platforms, I think they're trying to encourage content creators to do live stuff. So I was thinking perhaps what I may do on my channel is do a monthly live YouTube, and where I can invite you as a guest onto my channel. So I'm not sure how many people, I think it's about 10 max. So maybe I could do some kind of tutorial, and then we can all kind of see each other's work, and it'd be a great time to engage with each other. And I personally, I think it's going to be amazing, because it's nice over the years, in the past years, where I communicated with you chat. It'd be nice to see your faces and to see how well you're engaging with the work or the tutorial. And I just think it's a very fascinating time that we're in at the moment. So please let me know in the comments if that's something that you would perhaps think about or you want me to do, because I'll definitely do it once a month, as long as there is enough people who want that service from me, and I'll try to see what kind of format I can come up with, because that will really be really good. Testing, but good, I'm sure. So there is a couple of questions that are in the comments that I just want to address quickly. Let's see. I have very basic sewing machine. Will it be enough to start with? If you've got a very basic sewing machine, and I'm going to assume, Cornelia, if you can mention, is it only a straight stitch sewing machine, or does it have some what we call utility stitches? So can it do buttonholes, and can it do zigzag? If it can do all those straight, it's great to have one that does a buttonhole, zigzag. Let's see what else. I think those are the main ones, because you can use zigzag stitch in order to help you neaten your seams. Definitely, obviously, you need a straight stitch, and a buttonhole stitch is definitely a must for most projects, because you want to put button on the pants, button on the skirt. So yeah, those would be the three things. So it'll be a straight stitch, zigzag stitch for neatening seams, and then obviously in order for you to fasten the garment, then the buttonhole stitch is a good one. So those are the kind of basics I would say. Start off with a sewing machine, and then you can upgrade later with a zipper or zip. Putting in zip, it is just a foot that you will need for that, and that will enable you to put zips in and out your garments, or do very small stitches on a narrow sewing machine. So yeah, do think of those three things, and then that's a good starting base for you to start sewing, and then upgrade later after that. Just let me, what type of sewing machine do you have, Camilla? Just let me know in the comment, please. That'd be great to know that. Oh, thank you, Kathy from Utah. Thank you. Congratulations, Samina. Thank you. 100K, thank you. Oh, Kathy, thank you. My channel, you're amazing. Thank you very much. You're amazing too. Right, I'm just reading the comments. Oh, thank you so much for your comments. I really do appreciate. I do appreciate the fact that you've come here and helping to support me. And like I said, that if you have any spare time, then please do pop it over to my website. And if you want to win my t-shirt, Sew Up and Glow, then there's an opportunity for you to win that just by answering the blog post, and then making a comment, and then from that I will then choose someone, and then I will publicly announce that. I want to try to do that through YouTube stories, but I'll also use other platforms as well. But I'll let you know, don't you? You really do. So you mentioned about your basic sewing machine, right? I am in the process now doing a course on introduction to sewing, and telling you about if you're looking for a professional looking garment, then it's going to be a great course to go on, because I talk about the process that you'll need for sewing machine. But the key to anything is a balance of hand sewing and also using a sewing machine. So I think it was couture techniques and also using a sewing machine. I've come over the years where I've met so many people who have told me that what I wear looks as though, you know, I bought it from a shop, but like it looks so good, and how comes they can't get the same kind of look? The reason you can't get the same kind of look is that perhaps you don't know how to press your garments correctly. You're not using a combination of your sewing machine and also hand sewing machine. I don't think I've actually made anything, and if I have, it's been a very, very long time. And any of the garments that I've recently put on my YouTube channel have always been a combination of both, using a sewing machine and then using my hand sewing stitches. I think I mentioned it in all my, most of my tutorials when I make up my garments, is that yes, you have to learn how to hand sew. They go together for professional looking garments. So that is definitely a must. So as well as having a basic machine or an advanced machine, you definitely need hand sewing techniques. And that's what I teach on my courses as well. And my other courses are going to be around fashion design. So if you are a person that wanted to design a collection for yourself, which I do because I use myself as a muse in order to get my creative flow out in my design, I can show you how to design a collection personally for you, or collection of your personal design style, if you want to put together a small collection of garments that you want to sell to either online or in a retail store. And so I show you how to do that process also on my courses. So my course is always going to be ongoing, and one of the greatest things I'll actually say right now is that everyone thinks they can be a fashion designer, and I don't know where this comes from. I really don't. My first course was an introduction to fashion design, and I had almost over 80 of people who signed up for this course, and I'm going to put myself out there. I really am going to put myself out there. And about 43% actually got 50% of the way through the course, and eventually they tailed off. And from the information that I'm gathering is the fact that they think it's really easy, and it's not an easy process to think of fashion design. It's just a case of me drawing something and then let's put it out there, let's get it made and let's get it sold. It isn't that. It's a whole different process. And what's interesting, as I found, is that when I was teaching as a fashion lecturer in the classroom, the same kind of thought processes were in students' minds as well. It's like, how am I going to get into this garment? You know, it looks amazing on paper. Does it function well? Can a person move well in it? You know, what fabrics you're going to use? Maybe you've got too many construction seams that are in there that makes it, you know, impossible to sew. You know, there's lots of things that are involved in designing garments. And my course, I just love the way I've designed my course. So if you want to go along to that course, and it is a free course, one of the free courses on my website, and please do so. And then if you have any issues along the way, do contact me, because I'll be so interested to hear what you've got to say. So I've got a couple more questions that I just want to ask. Your opinions. My opinions on hand sewing. My opinions on hand sewing. I first started to learn to sew. My mother is my tutor. I started to learn to sew from about the age of 6. My mother always made clothes for other people, and if she had her time again, she would be an amazing children's designer, because she made sure that her kids looked the best. We did. I can remember. Or I just wish Instagram was around when I was a kid, because people would always ask us so many times, where did you get that dress? Where did you get this? Where did you get that? and my mum was making sure that her kids would, look the best wherever we went. Wherever we went, we always had one of mum's little designs on, and yeah, that was a crazy time. So I think that is where I learned my hand sewing skills to begin with, because I wasn't allowed to use mum's sewing machine, obviously, too young. Even as I got older, it's like as a teenager, when I wanted to use that mum's sewing machine, it's like, no, you will get a needle and thread and do it that way. Oh God, no matter how many presents, kisses I gave her, told her how much I loved her, didn't work. That machine was her pride and joy, which I can understand. So yeah, do make sure that your sewing machine is only attended by you and nobody else. So that's where my skills came from hand sewing. I think my appreciation for the fact that from my teenage years, I would say, when I was making clothes myself, people were telling me how good they looked, not only the design, but the actual construction of them. And I've always used both techniques, is what my mum taught me. And when I got the opportunity to use the machine a lot more often, it's like, yes, I don't have to do any more hand sewing. And it's like, okay, maybe I need to introduce hand sewing back into my process, because as you are as a teenager, you just want to make things really quickly and wear it out. And yeah, so very early on, I saw the appreciation of hand sewing. And please do think about that as you are making clothes for yourself, and perhaps if you're thinking about making clothes for other people. It is a useful skill. Not only that as well, it gets you in the zone. When you're hand sewing, I don't know what it does to the brain, but I find it very therapeutic. And I do believe it helps with that process of being very therapeutic. And it also allows you to treasure your garments a lot more as well. Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. I have shown there's 3 different types of sewing, which I describe as home sewing, and then there's industry sewing, and then there's couture sewing. So that's three different levels. The mass-produced sewing is not good, and I don't encourage it, and I haven't done it on my channel. But if any of you bought any garments, you know what I mean. And I've also seen that with when I refashion stuff as well. It's like, really? They really do this sort of sewing? And it's like, oh, I'm so glad that my mum taught me how to use a hand sewing needle, and I incorporate both. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Do I use beeswax when I'm sewing? No. I have done in the past, but I don't like it. I don't like the feel of it. The trick that my mum taught me to do was to, because you know, when thread is round around a spool, as you get thread, it has a memory. And what I mean by memory is that once you unwound it from the thread from the actual thread, it still loops. So that's the memory. It wants to stay looped. So don't use it that way. Use beeswax if you like, and if you like the texture and how it feels, or you can actually press. Just lay it onto your iron board, put the iron on top, and just run it through, and then you've got a nice long straight length of thread. So I've always used that technique, so I haven't really kind of thought about whether I need to go back to using beeswax. Yeah, if I was going to use beeswax, it's probably in tailoring. I think you probably need it in tailoring, but yeah, that's the only time. Kathy, oh gosh, oh bananas, oh sewing machines, they are to treasure. Sewing machines, you don't build sewing machines like that today. Even though I must admit, I do like computerized sewing machines, I really do. I like the automatic threading, yes. I think that maybe because I'm getting older and it's very hard to see the eye of the needle. I do like the fact that you've got what else is in the sewing machine? Oh, the needle goes down automatically and does its first stitch to lock that stitch into place. So there are many advantages to modern day sewing machines, but they are not the workhorse of old sewing machines. There's just something about it. I do have an old Benina, and it's just, yeah, same model as well. There's just something about them. they're just amazing. They really are. If you do manage to find yourself an old machine, whatever brand, do think about having one. Yeah, you may not use it as often as you like, but you will definitely see the difference between an old machine and a modern day machine, and both have their advantages and both have their disadvantages as well. So yeah, let's see. Thank you for the kind comments. Why is pressing important? Pressing is important for this main reason. You want, when we are sewing fabric together and we're adding stitches into that fabric, those stitchings want to be part of that weave of fabric. And one of the best ways to do that is to press, so it merges into the weave of the fabric. Not all fabrics have weaves, but that is essentially the best thing. And with each stage of your sewing, you need to press, because if you leave your pressing right at the end, your garment is not going to be as flat within the joining connections. So let's say, for example, you've got the bodice and then you've got the sleeve. It's always best to press the sleeve seams, not necessarily sleeve head, if you press your fabric correctly, but it's always best to press each section first and then join those sections onto the garment, wherever it is you want on the garment. So just make sure that pressing is going to be key. Everyone says it, and it's so true. I'm trying to think, as a teenager, I probably haven't done that because my mum taught me well. But I've met so many students who want to skip that stage, and you can see the results, because fabric needs to relax. Fabric needs to be able to find its new memory. And it's a thing that I've come across quite a lot when I've done sewing, and I've talked about it quite a few times, is that, what do you mean memory, Colleen? Because fabric wants to stay the way it's been, if you like. So if you've got fabric that's on a roll, you take it off the roll and it wants to roll back on itself, it means that you have to press it in order to get it flat. And there's a difference between pressing and ironing, and it's a technique. I do believe I have a tutorial on my channel about the technique of pressing. So the pressing is about up and down, up and down. So you're allowing the threads to set itself into the seams, and pressing disturbs the process, because what you're doing is pushing it down and back, down and back, down and back, and just that's friction that you don't want to have. It's all about gentle pressing up and down. So remember to keep that motion, and you get beautiful seams. Do not be doing this, because that's pressing. You press your clothes once it's been laundered. That's the technique that you use for is pressing, is ironing for your garments. But pressing is key in every process. Every seam that you do, press. And also, if you're dealing with delicate fabric, think about finger pressing, because there's heat in your fingers. So do think about finger pressing as well. That's a good tip. Any more? Thank you. Okay. Oh, thank you. Is there any more questions that anybody wants to ask me, whether it's about refashioning of garments, any kind of sewing, any of my courses, anything at all? I really appreciate that. Okay then, so it's now coming to 30 minutes. Thank you so much for listening to me. So I just want to recap. So thank you all very much for helping me get to 100K. And I want to see if I can get to 1 million within 5 years or less. Would be really great. So if you haven't subscribed, then please do so, and please do tell other people to subscribe to my amazing channel, which I'm sure you all think it is. Don't forget to enter the competition to win a t-shirt like mine, Sew Up and Glow t-shirt. I will mention as well that this is a medium. It's a US small, and a European medium. And I'm about size 8 to 10 UK size. So personally, I think for UK it runs small. When I bought it, I decided that I wanted to go medium because I wanted it to be a little bit more baggier. But yeah, so I hope that helps you. And also, let me just mention about my courses. Like I said, I've got a free course on there. So if you're interested in fashion design or you know somebody who is, then I would advise you to go on my free course there. And I will be adding courses as time goes on as well. The last course I released is my sketchbook course. Amazing, even if I do say so myself. And if you join that course, you can understand why I put that out there as well, because not many people have done it, but it's a vital course for you to engage in. So please do make sure that you do go along and check out my course if you're interested in that sort of thing. If you have any requests that you want me to do on my channel, please do so. Put that in the comments. And also, if you are wanting me to do a monthly YouTube live, that's something I'll be considering. It'll be interesting in me to be interested for me to know that, so that I can plan around it and get some ideas for myself about what kind of content I should put on there. So Lisa, oh hi, I love you all very much, but hi Lisa. and Lisa actually told me that she's going to try and make it. So it's coming to the end of this now, Lisa. But you can watch this once we've finished. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for making the effort to come. So please do communicate with me on any of my channel, which is Instagram, obviously my website, and where else? Twitter. I'm on Twitter. So those are the main three: website, Instagram, and Twitter, where you can make contact with me. And like I said, I'm here to encourage people to sew and be amazing in making garments for themselves, or if they want to do their own kind of collection, because I kind of got my feet in both industries, the sewing industry and also the fashion industry, and they are, in my opinion, twins. There's very little difference between them, and I haven't got time to go through that now, but you'll definitely find that sort of information on my website, which is colleenjulie.com. So I'm going to say thank you for all coming so much. I really do appreciate it, and congratulations to you all as well. I'm going to share my congratulations to you all, and look forward to getting to 1 million. And when my silver play button comes, I'll definitely share that with you. So thank you all very much for attending. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, just let me know if this is okay as well in the comments. And I will put links to a merch store if you're not interested in t-shirts and you want to purchase something else. So thank you very much for coming.